Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. And today, as promised, I'm going to teach you how to do meal prep and how to plan your meals like a pro. And you might think, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to plan my meals instead of just doing whatever? Well, no plan is a plan to fail. And if you want to make sure that you have good health, you have great energy, you don't eat a lot of junk, you don't waste time making constant decisions about what you're going to do for breakfast, what you're going to eat for lunch, for dinner, what you're going to eat at work, what you're going to eat while traveling, commuting. If you want to take back control of that area of your life to improve your health, to improve your energy levels, to improve your mental and physical performance and decrease stress dramatically and decrease the amount of decisions you make, because we all know that we all have certain capacity to make decisions, and wasting it all on making constant decisions about your food might be not the best strategy if you want to make things happen in life. And if you want to live life worth remembering and worth talking about and writing about, if you want to get things done, so it will help you to save time, to obviously eat better, to feel better, to feel more in control of your life, and to feel like your life are not out of control, that you are not dependent entirely on circumstances and what people serve you or what's available. And through all years of my practice, traveling around the world, living in different countries and different cities, doing different jobs, working for myself, training people, working in gyms, and doing so many things, I managed to eat healthy no matter what, no matter where. And it's not because I have super willpower or anything. It's because I have a plan. I always have a plan. And it doesn't mean that I always know what exactly I'm going to have. It means that I have a template or a sample that I follow. So for example, if I know that for breakfast, I usually have either, eggs or a green smoothie, or maybe I skip breakfast. If I know that helps me to find the exact thing or the closest match to it as I can. Or for example, if I know that each lunch and dinner, I want to have vegetables, I want to have healthy protein, and maybe a piece of fruit for breakfast. Or if I know what exactly I want to have for my snacks, and if I plan in advance the meals that I'm going to have at home, the meals that I'm going to have out, the meals that I might have to have out, and the instances or life circumstances that I need to plan in advance. So I'll probably be more prepared, right? And then no matter what the situation is, I know I'm going to handle it. And I want to give you the same power, the power of control over this very important part of your life that, again, will save you time, will save you decision-making energy, will add more to your life, more quality, more accomplishments, more energy, and again, more health, more fitness. You're just gonna feel like, I don't know, like you're a leader in your life. It is so powerful. So let's just start learning right away. So step number 1, to plan your meals, to do meal prepping or prepping your meals in advance. That is not necessary, by the way, guys. I do not do any sophisticated meal prepping for the week, for half of the week, because I usually have like an hour for decent lunch and dinner, and most of the time right now in my life, I can dedicate this time at home to cook really fast dinner, lunch, and eat it and be done with it in an hour. So that works for me. But a lot of people, especially people who work a lot outside of their house, or they have projects that require them to travel a lot of people really benefit from actually preparing meals in advance, taking them with them, or at least having a plan what to do when they eat out. So step number 1 to plan your meals. You got to decide how many meals a day you have, where you're going to have them. So if you practice, for example, intermittent fasting and you don't have breakfast, then obviously you don't need to plan that breakfast. But if you like to have good lunch and good healthy dinner and maybe a snack somewhere in between, or mini meal, because there is no such thing as snack really. It's all eating food. It's all meals. It's just the amount of food makes it into a meal or a snack. Anyway, so first step is to figure out how many meals a day you have, and when you have them, and where you have them. So this is step number 1. Step number 2 is to have a meal template, or have an idea in your head. And by the way, guys, when you do meal planning, always have somewhere like a piece of paper with a pen, or your computer or your phone, whatever is the easiest and most convenient for you. Have something where you write down everything that you need to write down to make your meal plan happen, right? So note everything that you are planning. So step number 2, have a meal template. So basically figure out what you're going to have for breakfast, for lunch, and dinner, general guidelines. So I, for breakfast myself, love to have, if I have breakfast at the time, either some sort of green smoothie these days, or an omelette with maybe an avocado or some other veggies and maybe fatty fish, right? So every morning I have an idea what I'm going to have, and you should too. So, or for lunch and dinner, I always have a lot of vegetables, fresh or cooked, and then I have some protein usually, maybe a piece of fish, maybe a piece of chicken, maybe a piece of liver, maybe again some eggs, depending on what I had in the morning, or I just have some fruit or something like that. Just have a template for a healthy, from your perspective, version of lunch and dinner. And a healthy version of lunch and dinner, again, and really simple. You have half of your plate, at least, vegetables, whether cooked or fresh salads, and try to mix it. Sometimes fresh, sometimes cooked, maybe a little bit of both. And then a piece of protein that is somewhere around 200-300 grams, or one size of your palm without fingers, or two, depending again how many meals you have, how big you are, how much nutrition you feel you need at the moment. So have a lot of vegetables, fresh or cooked, and then have a piece of protein, and maybe for dessert or for snack, have a piece of fruit, have some nuts and seeds. And this is a good meal template that you can implement almost anywhere. And when it comes to having something more starchy or more carbohydrate rich, then depending what you like, you might have like a piece of sweet potato, or a handful of beans, or a handful of quinoa. Again, depends on what you like. So second step is to have a meal template in your head. Like, what does it look like for you to have that healthy meal? And what that will allow you to do is when you are out, or when you're planning your meals further, you have that meal template in your head, and it's much easier for you to make choices and to organize your recipes or your grocery list, or just when you pop up in some cafe and they have different kinds of foods, different options available. You already have this template, and then so according to this template, you start making choices, and that really simplifies and makes it faster, the whole process of choosing what you're gonna eat. So you have some veggies, have some protein, and veggies, might be soup, might be fresh salad, might be cooked vegetables. Try to have a lot of vegetables. It's really gonna help you to make sure that you get as many nutrients as possible, as much variety as possible, and that you avoid deficiencies, and that you promote long-term and short-term health and great energy levels, and avoid cravings. So a lot of different sorts of vegetables cooked and prepared in a healthy way. And then, piece of protein. So that's a basic kind of template for each of your meals. And if you like to have desserts, then maybe figure out what that dessert might look like a piece of fruit, maybe dark chocolate, or maybe some nuts for dessert, or maybe a piece of cheese. So have meal template. This is step number 2. And step number 3 is getting into specifics. So you, for example, decided that you're going to have a breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. And which meals you're going to have at home and which meals you're going to have somewhere else. And you have meal template in your mind. So for meals that you're going to have at home or you're going to shop for, start having some more specific recipes. So if you decide to have for breakfast, for example, a green smoothie, then you want to make sure that you know what's going to go in that smoothie. For example, greens, berries, some protein, and maybe that's it. And maybe some liquid, either water or almond milk or something. And maybe on other days, you're going to have omelet and you're going to maybe use 2 eggs or 3 eggs and some vegetables also. So make sure that you write down each breakfast and how much ingredients approximately, you don't have to be exact, how much ingredients you need for those breakfasts, and put them into categories. So if for breakfast, you need maybe some vegetables for omelets, maybe some eggs, maybe some berries, some greens. So put them into categories where you're gonna shop them for. So for example, vegetables and greens go in one category, with fruits also, then proteins and things like eggs will go into another category on your list where you write things down, and then fish also going to go into protein section. So write down things in categories so it's easier for you to create shopping list from that, and write down the amount of foods you need for example 6 breakfast or 7 breakfast. For lunches and dinners, do the same thing. So let's say our template is vegetables, fresh or cooked, and then some protein. So for each of those meals, decide what you're going to have. Let's say fish, chicken, maybe liver, maybe beef, whatever that is. Try to add as much variety as possible again here. So for each meal, you decide the food you're going to have and the approximate amount of that food. And again, put that all into categories. The same you do for dinners, the same you do for snacks. So put each meal for each day of the week in your planner and put the ingredients down into different categories for your shopping list. And that's it. After that, after getting specific, writing down the recipes for each of your breakfast, lunches, and dinners. And if you have that meal outside of the house and you're not gonna prep for that, then make some kind of note or some kind of sign so you understand that this particular meal you're gonna have out, and have in mind your meal template. So for lunch, you might have again vegetables, you might have a piece of protein, maybe you have soup. So write it down, and when you are out and getting your meal out, then just choose from that template. Maybe have it convenient on your phone, so you don't have to remember all of that, and again, save your energy for more important decisions. So make a mobile version of your meal plan, especially for meals that you're going to have outside. So repeat a little bit. First, we're going to decide how many meals we have a day and where we're going to have those meals. Then we create in our head a meal template for breakfast, sample lunch, sample dinner, sample snack. And then we're going to get into specifics as a step number 3. So for each day of the week, we're going to write down what we're going to have for breakfast with the ingredients you need for lunch and for dinner and for snacks. And then you're going to break down those ingredients into categories and write them down somewhere below or somewhere separately. So it's easier for you to use that when you start doing your shopping, either online or at a grocery store. And then we're gonna move to actual grocery shopping. So after you wrote down all the meals that you're gonna have and you have your ingredients and then you have them into categories somewhere underneath or separately, then you're just gonna create a more cleaner version of your shopping list. So you have your ingredients in categories, and then whatever you wrote down several times, you sum it up and you put the whole number of the ingredients or the amounts of the ingredients that you need to prepare those meals. And guys, when you do your grocery shopping and when you do your meal prepping, I want to share some time savers that are going to make your meal planning, meal cooking, meal prepping much easier. So use things like veggie and salad mixes when planning your vegetable part of your meals. So choose different ones, choose a few mixes of salads, choose a few mixes of frozen vegetables to easily, roast them or just put them in a bowl without cutting and washing all those vegetables. So veggie salad mixes are great time savers. Basically, you just add protein to that and your meal is ready. Canned food, another great time saver. I love seafood in cans. Just make sure that there are no harmful additives and there are really simple ingredients. Water, maybe olive oil. If you choose to have your seafood in olive oil or any kind of cans, then maybe spice and herbs, natural spice and herbs. Spices and herbs, and salt, of course, and that's probably it. Make sure there are no preservatives or weird ingredients that you don't understand, because that's probably gonna add to toxicity in your body. So we don't want some weird ingredients for sure. And then And also, guys, about canned foods, you can find a lot of things and a lot of really healthy options when it comes to canned foods or well-packaged foods. Like you can find seafood, you can find meats, you can find bone broth or vegetable stock. A lot of really convenient, healthy options. So check them out on your next visit to the grocery store. And then the next time saver is spice mixes or dressings. So instead of trying to create your own dressings, if you don't really want to do that, or instead of trying to figure out what spices to put into meals so they taste different each time, so they taste good and they excite you, right? So check out some spice mixes, maybe Italian mix or curry or Indian, and just make sure again that those mixes have only whole food ingredients and no added sugars, no added things that you wouldn't want to put in your meals yourself, right? So spice mixes, dressings, there are a lot of healthy options available these days. When you're at a grocery store, also make sure while picking up all the ingredients for your meals, first of all, always try to get a few extra things, because you can always use them later, except for maybe, fresh greens. They do not stay good for a very long time, but make sure to pick up some extra. If you know that your life is really unpredictable, make sure to really stock up on your healthy options of meals on the go, or meals to grab and go, or just snacky kind of foods, like maybe some nuts, maybe fruits that are very convenient and easy to eat, some canned foods, maybe some pre-boiled eggs. There are a lot of healthy foods options that you can grab and go, or that are really easy to eat either at home without cooking, or to eat somewhere other than at home. So make sure to pick up a lot of those. And while you do your meal planning and you create your grocery shopping list, make sure that you also try to think about as many situations as you can that can happen in your week. The less unpredictable situations you have, the more likely you are to make better choices and stick with your healthy eating plan. So that's when it comes to grocery shopping and shopping list. Also, guys, don't forget that you can order some stuff online, some stuff you can buy at a store. Put them in different lists probably, and also experiment with that. Maybe some items you would love to order online, some items you would love to actually buy. Like I love to choose my own fruits, vegetables, perishable things, things that it matters when you choose them yourself, tomatoes that look better, or ripe avocados, even though in a lot of stores online you can also specify, like, get me ripe avocados, not just any avocados. And then also don't forget to stock up on things like Ziploc bags or individual containers for your meals, because ideally you want to, if you do meal prepping, you ideally want to put everything in separate meals so they're really easy to eat. Or for example, if you decide to make green smoothies, right? Let's take this example. And each smoothie, you're going to put some greens, maybe some fruits, or maybe some berries, some maybe protein powder. Protein powder you don't have to put in each individual bag, right? It's really easy to put a scoop in your blender. But then, for example, other ingredients you can put in each individual Ziploc bag, and you can put them in the freezer. Even greens you can put in the freezer because you're going to blend them anyway. So they're good for blending, and then it's really easy to make. You can cut even your fruit, you can put your berries there, and you put in individual Ziploc bags, and then you put in the freezer, and all you have to do when you do your smoothie in the morning is put it all in the blender, and in a couple of minutes that's going to be ready, and you can grab it with you, or you can drink it or eat it at home. Meal prepping, a few words on meal prepping. If you're the person who wants to cook your meals in advance and who will cook their meals in advance, then I recommend to do meal prepping and cooking twice a week, because the longer your food stays cooked, the less nutrients you're gonna have. And so unless you really, really cannot see yourself doing it twice a week, then once a week will do, I guess. But I really, really recommend you to do twice a week, and especially things like fresh greens, adding dressing to that. They really like any cut vegetables or any cut fruits, they really go bad or have less nutrition in them really, really fast. So I would suggest for most meal prepping actually to do half cooking. Like, for example, wash your greens and vegetables and fruits and prepare and cut your meats in advance and put them in separate bags. And that way, to cook them, even if you do it every day, you will only have to take them out and maybe put them in the oven, roast them really fast. Also, another advice is to find ways to cook your food really fast and really convenient. Like, for example, I love to do this roasting in a bag. There are special cooking bags. They look kind of like plastic bags where you can put anything you want, like maybe fish, maybe vegetables, and you seal them from each side. And you just set the right temperature in the oven and you can go whatever you want to do. And then when you come back, your vegetables, your fish, that's one of my favorite meals, will be ready. And especially if you have it all prepared and it was just sitting in your freezer, then you just have to put it in your oven, set the temperature, set the time, and your meal gonna be ready to go soon. And of course, if you do meal prepping, cook things in bulk. Cook a few pieces of fish, maybe a few pieces of chicken, a lot of vegetables, and then put them in separate containers for each meal, and your meals are ready to go. And the last piece of advice for meal prepping and meal planning is always go for variety, guys. That's the way to maximize nutrition for all of your meals. Add a variety of vegetables, so choose different ones, don't go for the same ones. For each week when you do grocery shopping, pick up a few different vegetables that you haven't tried before. Pick up new fruits, maybe new nuts and seeds, new meats, new seafood from different regions, new body parts of the animals. Maybe one day you're going to have chicken hearts, or the next day you're going to have chicken livers, the next day you're going to have prawns. And then, so just make sure to pick up a few things for all of your meals and change it up a bit every single week. And then, of course, if you live in a certain area, try to choose seasonally, try to see what's available in that season. Don't just go for oranges and bananas all the time, or broccoli all the time. See what's local, what's seasonal, what's available right now and is not available in other at other times of the year. The more variety you have, the more nutrients you have, and the healthier you're gonna be now and later in life. So variety is the key to increase nutrient content of your food and of all your meals. And the same if you eat out. So always make sure to choose something different. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of nutrients of one type and you're going to lack other nutrients, and it's not a great idea to do so. So to recap this episode, guys, meal planning, meal prepping, the basics of it. Well, first of all, I want to again stress the variety factor of it. Go for variety. Don't stick to the same foods. And of course, we talk a lot about the healthy ingredients of this podcast and foods you should and shouldn't have. So this podcast is not about that. It's about actually implementing those skills into your life so you can actually do them and you are getting better at eating healthier, at getting more health through your food. So these are the skills that you need to implement healthy eating in your daily life. It's meal planning, meal prepping. So variety, huge factor in it. And then first, you decide how many meals you have, where you're going to have them. Second, you're going to create a meal template. It can be in your head, not that important, but understand what you usually have for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, for snack. And no matter where you eat, stick to that formula. And the best formula is a lot of vegetables, fresh or cooked, variety of them, and then a piece of protein as big as your hand, or a couple of those. Again, depends how much food you need and how many meals you have. And so you have your meal template, and then step number 3, get specific. So write down for each day of the week what you're going to have for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, where you're going to have it. Write down ingredients and the amounts in categories. So those categories and ingredients and amounts you're going to use to copy it into your shopping list. So copy it in your shopping list after you've done all the specific planning of lunches, breakfast, dinners, snacks. So put the ingredients and all the foods into your shopping list. Make sure that you calculate everything. Make sure that you add things like Ziploc bags or spices and dressings or things that you need to cook with or to store your food, eat, or to take it with you on the go. So when you do your grocery shopping, make sure you account for that. When you're shopping, that's where you also apply your variety principle. Choose different vegetables, choose different fruits, different meats and fish and variety, guys. And then make sure that you grab a few extra options. So no matter what, you always have healthy options available for you. Don't forget about our time savers like veggie and salad mixes, canned food, spices mixes, dressings. And then when it comes to meal prepping, cook in bulk. Do at least twice a week if you do the meal prepping. Schedule it. If you schedule it, you do it, you'll have time for it. Put each meal in a separate container. Ideally, if you make your green smoothies, put them in separate bags and put them in the freezer so it's really easy to grab and eat or grab and prepare really fast. Have your snacks also prepared in single serving packets to avoid overeating when you don't need to be overeating. And that's it, guys. And see how you go. So if you have any questions about meal planning, meal prepping, maybe managing your weight with meal planning, meal prepping, always feel free to reach out to Angela at Create Your Salad Today. Always feel free to ask any questions you have on any social media where it's more convenient for you. And again, if I missed something, let me know and I'll let you know how to do your best in your particular situation, to do your best to eat healthy and take back control of that area of your life that influences really everything. The amount of energy you have, the amount of health you have, how much you experience in your life, how much you can give to others, to your work, to projects, to more important decisions. Meal planning and being in control of what you put in your body is a life skill that anyone who's interested in living interesting, fascinating, exciting, and successful life needs to have. So start meal planning and you're gonna be more successful in life, in all areas of life. So thank you guys for listening. Have an amazing weekend. Do meal planning, do meal prepping. If you have any questions, reach out. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.